G'day viewers, this is going to be one of those urban planning things around shared spaces where we look at two different suburbs and say, who wore it better? So we're going to have a look at Canada Bay at Caranto Street, where they've put in a temporary shared space which they've decided to extend. And the interesting thing about this is they've painted a bunch of bicycles on the barriers here to make it look like a friendly kind of space. But they haven't actually provided any bike parking at this location. Nothing. So you think if you want to attract cyclists, what's the first thing you want to do? Well, you want to have good coffee, obviously, and the food needs to be good, but you need to have safe, secure bike parking. But let's flip over to Subiaco. Now you can see on the left there, we've just gone past one of their shared spaces outside a pub. And over the road there at the cafe, they don't have one, but they've got some outdoor seating. And you can see early in this particular morning on a weekend, they've attracted a reasonable amount of business from passing cyclists who've pulled in here for a coffee and maybe something to eat. Probably actually most of their customers at this time of the day. Now, something to notice about this street, oh look, there's another shared space on the left there outside that establishment. Then we've got some parking, and then we've got yet another one of these shared space things outside a pub, some more outdoor seating over there outside that cafe, and then yet another shared space coming up here on the left. And it wasn't until I got to that one I suddenly realized what I was looking at and thought, I'm going to turn around, stop and film this thing, and then we'll do this little comparison with Canada Bay and see what lessons we can learn. Now you can see here there's the on-street parking, and they've chopped a couple of bays out, and they've concreted down a curb here, so I guess people aren't going to back into this thing and wreck it. It's not made out of concrete. You can see it's, what is it, corrugated iron and wood, I think. But this is certainly a higher quality finish than what they've gone with in Caranto Street. Now, granted, Caranto Street's obviously a temporary measure, so they just whacked down some concrete roadside barriers and a bit of AstroTurf and, painted a few nice things on it, whereas this, they've gone and, properly fitted this out with a nice, permanent-looking structure. On the other side, of course, you can see there is actually some bike parking. There's bike parking hoops like this on just about every pole up and down the street, so you're never more than a pole or two away from secure bike parking, no matter which business you want to go to here. And we'll just have a closer look at this. You can see they've got some nice shady things there. Pretty pleasant place to sit out here at lunchtime or in the evening having a drink, having a meal. Better quality seating, I guess. And you can see they've even put in these nice flowery planter boxes along there to brighten the place up. But I think a lot of the key success factors are out there in the street. So you can see down the middle of the street, just like Great North Road through Warringah, they've put in a bit of an island, they've put in planter boxes, they've put in lots of trees, and most importantly, that sign, it's all been slowed down to 30 kilometres an hour. All the design attributes of the street have been set up in a way to naturally slow drivers down to 30 kilometres an hour. And I've got to tell you, most of them stick to that speed because the street is designed to make them drive that slowly. It's, they're not obeying the sign, they're obeying the design cues from the street. And I think that's what's missing across Canada Bay is that. Now we'll have a look at another cafe just up the road. You can see at early in the morning that a few bikes came back an hour and a half later. It's an absolute sea of bikes and cyclists in pink, all spending lots of money. So I mean that's what we're aiming to get, is lots of people out enjoying the open air, having a coffee, spending some money, socialising, all that kind of stuff. In Subiaco, you can see the evidence there that it works. Canada Bay, is it working so well? Well, who knows? But I do think if they're going to go the whole hog and make it permanent, the first thing is they've got to get this 30 kilometre hour mindset set in through the Warringah shops. Just 200 metre long stretch, slow it down to 30 k's, so you don't have cars racing through with noise and noise pollution, all that kind of stuff. You want to be able to sit outside a cafe and hear yourself think and be able to hold a conversation with the people you're with. Same in Caranto Street, just maybe a little section of 50 metres long, island down the middle, some trees, some planter boxes, slow everything down, even put down brick paving through that entire intersection to make sure drivers see that they need to slow down and they don't go hooning up and down, Caranto Street at 100 kilometres an hour. So we'll see whether Canada Bay Council learns anything from this. And of course, most importantly, if you want to attract a whole bunch of cyclists to a place, yeah, coffee's got to be good, food's got to be good, outdoor seating preferably, and of course, secure, convenient bike parking. If you're building one of these spaces and you're not putting in secure, convenient bike parking, then you're doing it all wrong.